I have good news for unused 529 plan funds. Now, over the years, Congress has expanded the use of 529 plans, and you can now use them for not only four-year universities or colleges, but also two-year universities and colleges, trade schools, vocational schools, and that can be both home and abroad, and even $10,000 a year for kindergarten through 12th grade tuition expenses. So there is a lot of flexibility in using that 529 plan for a beneficiary. But you could still end up with unused 529 plan funds. And if you do, what are your options? Now, in the past, you could just leave the money in the 529 plan and allow it to continue to grow tax deferred. And possibly that beneficiary would go back to school later, get a higher level degree. And if not, you could change the beneficiary to another child or a grandchild, or even to yourself and take some classes that you had always wanted to take. You could also just cash it out. And if you cash it out, you can get your money back to do something different with your money, but you would have to settle up on the taxes on the growth because it's not being used for educational expenses. You might even have a tax penalty to pay since it's not being used for educational expenses. But with the passage of Secure Act 2.0, there is now one more option. And I like this option. You can now transfer tax-free and penalty-free from a 529 plan to a Roth IRA. And the Roth IRA is one of my favorite accounts because down the road there is going to be no tax when you pull money out of that account. Now, there's some rules that go around this. And so I want to take a minute to talk about what are the rules and tell you some, talk about what we don't know about the rules, and then some things that you should be thinking about at this point in time. So the rules are the 529 plan has to have been in place for 15 years. And the money that is transferred from the 529 plan to the Roth IRA has to have been in that account for at least 5 years. The beneficiary of the Roth IRA that the money is going into has to be the same beneficiary of the 529 plan, so the beneficiary has to match. And the beneficiary is going to need to have some earned income because this transfer from the 529 plan to the Roth IRA is going to be counted as part of their annual IRA contribution. Now, if your beneficiary is making contributions to a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA on their own, then that's going to reduce the amount that can be transferred from the 529 plan to the Roth IRA. But the beneficiary's income does not restrict you from being able to make this transfer. If the beneficiary is making too much to be able to do a IRA contribution, then you can still do this because that is not going to count against being able to make this transfer. So that is good news. And the last point is that the maximum lifetime amount that can be transferred per beneficiary is $35,000. Now, what we don't know is whether you can change the beneficiary and have the unused 529 plan funds transferred to a Roth IRA of the new beneficiary. Will the original 15-year timeline still count, or will changing the beneficiary start a new 15-year timeline? We don't have an answer to that question at this point in time. I am hopeful that they will allow the beneficiary to be changed because this will allow you to get more of that 529 plan into Roth IRA accounts and help set your beneficiaries up on a very good footing for their retirement down the road. So what should you be thinking about at this point in time? If you are planning to start a 529 plan for your children or your grandchildren, you should start that now and get that 15-year clock ticking. If you have some unused 529 plan funds, you should begin to consider how are you going to set up that transfer to a Roth IRA. And just begin thinking about that. As the rules become more clear, we'll know more about how to do it, when to do it, and it actually goes into effect next year in 2024. So there is some time, but you need to begin thinking about that so that you have a plan in place and can have those conversations that you need to have with your beneficiaries. And so with that, very good news for unused 529 plan funds, something that we are talking to our clients about, and hope that this was helpful to you. We are here to help you be on your best path for retirement.